And it's interesting to hear N-Rated talking about the training of Against All Authorities. Joe touched on it yesterday. They have been in this studio training so hard over the last 2 weeks against All Authorities. They have been burning the midnight oil here, and they seem very comfortable there. You can see the big grin on the face of Nono. They have definitely been working hard for this matchup, and well, Fnatic are definitely a tough opposition. We saw them beating out Evil Geniuses last night. Very strong performance from them. So Against All Authorities are going to have to be on top of their game if they're going to take them down.
And I'm wondering how well prepared Fnatic are for this matchup today. You know, they had 3 games this weekend over the course of the 2 days, and Cyanide there with his fist pumping. You know, how well have they prepared for a team that they haven't seen all that much of? I believe this is the 3rd game in the LCS for Against All Authority, and you know, without having that wealth of information and all those games to draw from, what do you do? We are into the picks and bans. Lux, Thresh, Shen, and Kale removed. So far, 100% picked or banned for Thresh in the EU LCS.
Yeah, and it's expected, honestly. When we saw the fantastic performance yesterday, it worked so well for Edward, so suddenly everyone's like, oh, okay, we're going to ban that. We're not going to let anyone else have that. And, you know, a player like N-Rated certainly could have picked that champion up. He hasn't given anything away
and
just yet.
has been playing him in the top lane as well. On hits,
this is what we were talking about yesterday. We had a discussion, and Wicked was involved as well, and we talked about how it's possible that Thresh can be used as a top laner. I'm just waiting for the moment it actually comes out. Xin Zhao being another ban there. And the final one, well, who is it going to be? We'll find out in a moment. We're waiting to see what Fnatic are going to start with. Of course, we had the Blitzcrank of Soaz yesterday. Will they pull anything crazy like that out, I wonder?
The thing about that particular composition as well, it was a clearly well thought out game plan from Fnatic. They got every champion that they really wanted to get, and they played it very, very well. You heard Crepo during his interview saying that it was the way that they played the engagement. It was the fact that they got that advantage and they managed to steamroll it away. The final ban was, in fact, Vi. So they're getting rid of that champion, removing it either from the jungle or, in Dragonborn's case, the mid lane. And Fnatic have locked in Volibear.
So how will they counter this? Will we see Sona being locked in? Tends to be a standard one for Corellius.
And talking about the bear, though, Against All Authority faced the bear yesterday. All right, it was in the hands of the Copenhagen Wolves. They had the volley bear, the singed combo, and they know how to play against it. They're currently sitting on Sona, which is that standard sort of safe pick. You know, you pick your jungler, you pick your support, and then you build your composition around that.
It's also the pick that Corellius always goes for.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I don't think I've seen Corellius actually play anything other than Sona
Both
yet.
games that he's played. 2 Sonas, average KDA 3.1.
But I even see him in solo queue. Every time I walk past, he's playing Sona. I don't know if he plays anything else.
With the arcade skin. Every single
arcade skin, of course,
arcade Sona is the way that he goes. Talking about that as well.
being picked up actually here in the jungle. Something we haven't seen a great deal of. We saw him in the first week, pretty much constantly picked, and then the second week and the third so far, it's just completely forgotten about.
And again, bringing it up with the Cho'Gath pick, the Copenhagen Wolves. Svenskeren ran him in the jungle. His early game wasn't necessarily the strongest, but once they started getting to those team fight picks, his ruptures were just so on point. Demonic Disruption. N-Rated has got his Leona, though. That's a scary thing. It's the same bot lane that they ran against Evil Geniuses yesterday. Yeah,
that misfortune was very, very strong for Yellowstar. Handling over Poppy, I don't think they're going to go for Poppy.
Teleports for Fnatic right now. So a little bit of mind games in the summoner spells. Teleport Flash, Teleport Smite, Teleport Flash. I'm expecting it to change.
I think they're going to change that,
I'm expecting it to change, but there's a tiny little percent in me that's thinking, well,
it'd be nice.
They ran Teleport Smite Volibear yesterday, if I remember correctly, in the first matchup of the day against the Wolves. You know what? Maybe they're going to put 4 teleports, 5 teleports in a game.
Yeah, we do see a potential picks out. Varus is possibilities. Renekton would make sense as well. There's been very strong picks earlier on. Obviously, we've seen Darian running a very strong Renekton, so we could see whether the top laner, Freddy122, has, of course, reigned AP Kennen last week as well, if I recall. So definitely pulls out some interesting picks. There is Kennen once again, may well get chosen.
Now, the Lux was banned out first. That was banned from Fnatic. In week 1, or week 2, game 1 for Against All Authority, they ran Lux in the middle lane and they ran Kennen in that top lane. So they had that double AP comp and they built towards ability power. With Lux being removed from the pool, I want to know what AAA decide to round out their composition with. But in terms of a couple of champions that are still available, Kha'Zix is there, Twisted Fate is there. There's a number of champions that we've seen and have been up at that top tier. But really, what does Fnatic want to play? We've effectively, in theory, got the jungler and our bottom lane. So it's literally the last 2 solo lanes that need to be locked in for Fnatic.
So let's see what they're going to be. We've seen Kate Katarina being selected many times by Peke. Obviously got the snowball on with that one.
I think Peke played Katarina twice yesterday. KDA of 27.
That's not bad. That's
27
not bad.
KDA with an average goal per minute of 423. Now, to be fair, both games were fairly one-sided. So,
but that's his plays that make that.
But that's exactly it. It's those things, and it does look like it's actually been swapped out. It's been a while since we've seen Diana, and I actually mentioned it yesterday as well. Peke's Diana is very, very good, but the question is, has he been practicing it and scrimming it in those solo queue games?
Well, Dirty Diana is strong once again in 3.02, and there is the Malphite pick, something that Soaz used to run all the time in that top lane, so kind of falling back on an old setup here, our Fnatic.
Yeah, it's true, and again, it's heavy engage. You've got every single one of the champions wants to dive in, pick a fight, pick an engagement. You're going to have Diana diving in, throwing the Moonfall, pulling everybody together. You're going to have Unstoppable Force knocking everyone up. While all of that's going on, bullet time is going to be happening.
Yeah.
So it's a very aggressive comp. There are currently 5 teleports for Fnatic, so I'm waiting for those to get swapped out.
You never know. They might just be piling in.
You never know. And currently, AAA hovering over Jarvan.
Well, we do see Jarvan 4. Is he going to get locked in, which would make it a mid lane, possibly, Kenan? Could it be mid lane Cho'Gath?
It could even be...
Could be mid lane Jarvan.
It could be mid lane Jarvan. It could be mid lane Jarvan. I wouldn't be surprised to see Jarvan possibly in the jungle, Cho top, and Kenan mid. That would be my assumption. And I think that we'll see if this is going to play out. At the moment, though, it's Jarvan top, and... well, they're going to swap. They're going to swap. There's a minute on the clock. Some of the spells are changed for Fnatic, though, but it does look like Cyanide is going to be using his Teleport Smite, which is what he pulled out against the Wolves yesterday.
It's going to be AD Cannon, and I think it is going to be Slayer in the middle, and I think that actually, as it stands right now, is probably the position it will stay in, which is going to be Freddy 122 on Renekton. We have 25 seconds, so they could switch him around at any moment.
In the middle lane, we do see Peke. He went aggressive onto Corrales, but immediately backs off. He's gone onto Nono.
They're diving in towards him, and he did dive in towards Nono, though, putting the pressure down on towards Peke, gets the stun. Corellius came around the side. Slayer's rotated as well. Now we see up the top here, it's Virtual diving in towards Soaz. He hasn't used that Cataclysm yet. Soaz is still trying to hold it out. First Blood, meanwhile, falls in the middle lane. They're going to have to use his ultimate there. Soaz Unstoppable Force trying to get out of it. Meanwhile, it was Peke that went down in the mid lane, and Rating gets caught out with a Rupture. Cyanide pressure. That's the mid turret going down. Against all authorities, suddenly switching on the aggression.
And they landed every ability that they needed to. You can see Crescendo. You can see the Lightning Rush, Slicing Maelstrom, as well as Feast. Everything is down. They stunned him. They locked him up. They picked it up. Cyanide's trying to defend 1 versus 3, but without anybody else to back him up, I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything.
Well, that's inner turret. It's gone down to half health. It's Corellius they went for there. He does go down. Yellowstar picks up the kill. Meanwhile, the top turret's going down. Cyanide taken very low. They can't pursue this one, but they're going to lose another turret. So it's 2-1 in turrets currently for Against All Authorities.
They've got that lead right now, and they're playing it out. As long as they can hold it and keep pressuring these lanes, getting more and more kills, that's definitely what's going to count. They've had very good map control and vision, and Slayer being very sneaky. Is he going to get anybody?
They're not hanging around here. Slayer wants to try and force a position. He also has Freddy coming back with him, and you can see Virtual tries to engage. Oh, died there. Cataclysm, no, but Peke picks up the kill. Hit and run style. Can he get away? You can see immediately they're going to try and collapse in around him. As it is, it's going to be Slayer that gets focused in there. Freddy 122 on towards N-rated, and that's going to be Slayer going down. It's 2 kills for Fnatic. They're going to keep pushing on towards this turret.
Teleport from Cyanide there used perfectly in that middle lane. Managed to lock him out. Soaz does not have Unstoppable Force, so if they want to pick another fight, it's not available for them, but the Solar Flare is there. If N-rated wants to lock somebody up, you can allow Peke to dive forward. And a very aggressive Peke. He got locked in with a Cataclysm, but because he had that ultimate cooldown refreshed, it allowed him to dive onto Nono again and pick up that kill under the tower, which is what started this whole balancing act that Fnatic have just done.
Trying to throw out the poke, and Against All Authorities, they're just saying, you know, we're going to take tactical advantage here. We're going to force you away. They're going to try and catch them out, and they're going to push straight in for the inner turret. Very well maneuvered by Against All Authority.
And the Rupture from
It's going to be the Unstoppable Force. It's going to come in from the side there. Does manage to catch on towards Nono, but the Crescendo and Slicing Maelstrom follows it straight up. Freddy 122 does take the turret down, and now they turn back around, but Nono is going to go down to Soaz, and that is sent Against All Authorities in disarray. Freddy 122 trying to lay the damage down, but it's not enough, and that's going to be the bullet time, just catching down one there towards the end there. Freddy 122 drops. Corellius is dropped. It's a 3-for-0 exchange from Fnatic. All they did, a 4 for 0, sorry. They lost the turret, but it doesn't matter. They're going to turn it around. They may even catch Slayer out here. He's going to come around the side there. Doesn't matter. Inner turret will go down. Very nicely played by Fnatic.
Fnatic decide that they want this tower. They're going to shove it down, and that engagement from the side. Solar Flare landing, slowing everybody. Malphite knocking everyone up into the air. And just that focus from Fnatic was there. They picked the target. They dove onto him, stuck on him, and managed to get it. They still haven't taken the as I said that. They just finished it down. Slayer trying to run some interference, but it's just not going to be enough. There is some armor across the board, but there's not a massive amount of armor built up for really anybody. And the last whisper has been completed.
So has caught out there. He has got unstoppable force available. Doesn't want to burst it just yet. Bullet time had to get used out, and the ultimates are being burned around. But you do see the teleport coming in against all authorities. Just get melted where they stand. Virtual is going to get dropped. The ignite will finish him off there. Tries to get away. It's Peke that picked up the kill there. No, taken very low. He's having to run towards the turret. Yellowstar is just going to continue pursuing. Instead, they turn towards the turret. And wow, they're going to get melted. Peke dives in. He picks up the kill. And well, against all authorities, they thought they'd managed to get the situational advantage, but it was not to be. It was another 4 for 0 trade and the inhibitor.
The Solar Flare caught them completely off guard. Soaz was out of the fight. He couldn't really do anything. Schleier's well out of position, and if Fnatic decide to chase, he's in trouble.
Peke flashes on there. If he can manage to get that Crescent Strike, forces the flash away from Slayer. Slayer's going to have to chase, but he's running through the wards. They know exactly where he's going. He has nowhere to run, and Peke dives in. Could he turn? He has got the feast available, but it doesn't matter. He tries to barrier out this one. He tries to get the shield down, tries to land the rupture. Lich Bane proccing out from Peke there. He's gonna land the hit. Oh, and Rated tries to chase it through. He's still running, but he's running in towards Yellowstar and a turret, and now he's got nowhere to go. They're just gonna slowly drive him down. The question is, will he delay long enough against authorities? They're gonna try and position for Baron here. Have they delayed Fnatic enough?
That is the question. They've got quite a bit of damage, but you can see Soaz is getting into position. His ultimate is not available if he does decide to engage, but he might be able to just run some interference. You can see him running in there, putting some damage down, because Baron is hitting very, very hard. Against authority cannot survive. Teleport is not available for Cyanide either, and AAA are going to back away. They do not have the damage to survive both Soaz and Baron bashing on their faces.
They had to back away. They couldn't deal with that one instead, but they couldn't turn on towards Soaz either. They don't really have the burst damage available to just take him down. And now the rest of Fnatic, unstoppable force used up. Just try and bait them in, keep them there a little bit longer. Bullet time around the side there, catches 3 members perfectly at full volume, and Cyanide now in there. Soaz has gone down. Can they turn the damage? Cyanide goes down against all authorities with 2 kills so far, but Yellowstar is going to be picking them off from range. Can they dive it? Cataclysm on towards Yellowstar. They're trying to drop Yellowstar so low. No, still hangs around. He's just about to survive, and Rated last man standing gets one, but he can't get another, and it's a 4-for-1 exchange for against all authorities. Peke's going to come in. He wants to clean up, but he's got to run away from the big dinosaur that is Slayer.
Terrible call from Fnatic. They dove in 2 versus 2. He's dealing a lot of damage to Slayer, though. Can he pick up the kill? Nobody else from AAA can really pick a fight. He's going to carry on chasing.
He gets one. Can he get the second? He's going to go towards Corellius when he manages to clean out one, but they're all backing away. Nobody wants to deal with Peke. He dodges out of the Crescent Strike, and he doesn't have the ultimate reset, so Peke, he's still lingering. He wants to get the reset. He's going to get a second. He lands it on towards Freddy. He can't quite dive in. He has got his ultimate available now, but he hasn't got enough to tank it down. And well, Peke he can see the quadra kill in front of his eyes, but it wasn't to be.
Nah, unfortunately, Fnatic, they stuck around too long. They engaged 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, then just kept throwing them in. Peke, if he lands it, so close. Once Fnatic jump in and dive onto somebody, if AAA do not split up and survive...
They're well out of position here. They're just going to pile straight up the bottom lane. You can see they're all backing off now suddenly. They're desperately going back, but they are too far gone, and they can just tank this one through. There's going to be the inhibitor turret down. They've only just hit the fountain. They're trying to teleport in. You can see that's going to be Cyanide in there, but the inhibitor is already exposed, and they're just going to keep pouring onto it. They're going to try and dive. It's going to be the Cataclysm. They've caught out Yellowstar, but they're not putting the damage on towards Yellowstar. Instead, they're focused across. Yellowstar's still free at the back here. He's just laying down all the damage, putting the smack down, and there's the unstoppable force. Slayer's going to get dropped down. It's a triple kill for Misfortune. Yellowstar just sat at the back laughing at against all authorities there. He picks up the quadra kill. Amazing stuff.
Great play. They managed to secure the inhibitor. Going to carry on chasing onto the Nexus turrets now. As they put damage down on the first turret, Fnatic are in such a strong position in this particular game. It's definitely going to be finishing it. Once they got that advantage, once they had those team fight wins, there was nothing AAA could do about it.
And there it is. Fnatic are going to take the victory. It's 19-6 in kills, but honestly, it was a much closer fight than the kill count was neglects. And there it is. After such a long delay, Fnatic do pick up the win there.